Hello everyone and welcome back to World of Warships Blitz with Terry. Today we're having a short video, probably a bit of a bonus video, not one of the main features because we're looking at this. And what is this? This is the Tier 3 Japanese premium light cruiser, the Katori. Katori? Katori? I don't know.
Katori.
Why are we talking about Tier 3 ships? Well, I think the missions I've seen one of the mission crates actually having Tier 3 ships at offer, and like lower tier premium ships. And also, you figure if you start in the game and you see one of the premium ships in the lower tiers, and you figure, oh yeah, I really need a premium ship since I'm playing at Tier 3 and they're not actually that expensive. So let's take a look and let's see what you can do. The
Katori.
Well, is a training ship, really, as it says. She's got 15,000 hit points, which is kind of on par with Japanese cruisers at this tier. The armor is, well, pretty much non-existent. And she isn't very fast, with 20 knots. So she's of the slower variety. The turn time is not completely terrible, with 5 seconds in my setup. And in terms of guns, she has 140mm guns, similar to the Tech Tree Japanese cruiser at this tier, which have a 7.5 second reload and do a really decent amount of high explosive damage. So there really isn't any reason to use armor piercing on these guns, pretty much ever. Just use high explosives straight up from these things. The torpedoes, given that it's a Japanese cruiser, she has torpedoes. And she doesn't have many of them. She has 2 twin launchers, side-mounted, so you can launch torpedoes on one side and on the other. They do have a good range with 7.5 kilometers, and they do an okay amount of damage with 3,000. One of the specialties here, we get to that in a minute, is that she actually has ship skills, which is unusual for normal Tech Tree ships. You usually just get these at Tier 5. So the torpedo tubes have a 33 second reload, so it doesn't actually take very long to reload these torpedoes at all. And with a 7.5 kilometer range and a 6.3 kilometer surface detection, you can actually stealth fire these torpedoes. Then again, you're in a Japanese ship, this is kind of expected. But a 6.3 kilometer surface detection rate is very good for a cruiser. It's almost destroyer levels. So she's a sneaky little ship, really. She actually has some anti-air in Tier 3. If you're bottom tier, you might face the Tier 4 carriers. So it's nothing great, and you probably won't be able to defend yourself, but you might shoot down the occasional airplane. The ship skills I was talking about. So if we look over details, she actually gets 2 ship skills, which is very unusual for such a low tier ship. Usually you get your first ship skill at Tier 5, and then at Tier 6 you get your second one at times. So what does she have? She has the precise aiming, and she has a torpedo reload booster. So the torpedo reload booster reloads the torpedo tube immediately. So if you have an empty one, you can pop the booster and it reloads it again. And you have 2 more torpedoes. So you can basically use, twice in the game, you can fire 4 torpedoes rather than the regular 2 of them. So this is not a completely terrible ship. The regular Tech Tree ship, the Tenryu, let's have a very quick look. We're not going to do a full comparison, but just have a very quick look at what she can do. She has the same guns, pretty much. And she has 2 triple launchers, again, side-mounted, with a longer reload, less damage, or less base damage, but I guess with upgrades it's going to be kind of similar. But she actually fires, and she has no ship skills, so she actually fires less torpedoes. So this is an upgrade over the Tenryu. Not a completely terrible little ship. She has 2 options, obviously, for the elite bonus. You could go with engine, or you could go with torpedo reload and torpedo traverse. I did go with torpedo reload because, well, both of them are available as modules, so it depends really how you want to stack these things. But given that the torpedoes are pretty good, And the guns as well. You don't get the torpedo reload booster on the ship because you're on tier 3, so the torpedo reload module, which is why I went with the elite bonus. But I did put the main battery modification in. I put the steering gear mod, and I actually, because you don't get the acceleration mod, that would have been the other option, which is also a good option. And you get I put the propulsion modification in just because she is not very fast. So the speed is really one of the issues with 20 knots. Again, quick peek over to the Tenryu. The Tenryu does 32 knots. Right, so your main downside with the ship is the speed. She is very, very slow. Supplies, standard set for a Japanese ship. High-grade coal to get the surface detection down. And then crew rations for reload and diesel for speed and traverse. I don't have a dedicated commander. I tend to just switch the one over from the Yubari. So he's not specialized for the ship, but I have the torpedo skills. I have the artillery maintenance. I've got the air defense from the Yubari, and survivalist is useful. The generalist obviously is useful, and I've got fully prepared here, which reduces the repair kit cooldown time, which is a good thing as well. So nothing, it's easy to shuffle because, you know, you don't pay the retraining penalty when you switch between premium ships. So you can just do that pretty quickly. So in terms of camouflage, I would generally recommend the Seaborne Assault, but because I currently have camouflages laying around, I'm just going to use that one. If you're after the historical one, it only costs 500 gold, so that's an investment you can make relatively easy early on in the game. So I'm going to use this one for change because it's a bit better. It actually gives me firing range, whereas the other one just gives me a bit of bonus. And we've got the commander on. So the Katori.
Katori.
Let's play around and we'll see how she plays. And, well, we have one opponent. We're bottom tier. There's a Duguay 3, I think. Sorry, it's been a while since I've been speaking French.
Duguay 3.
There's one of those. So, a dangerous little tier 4 cruiser. Gotta watch out. Other than that, 3 battleships, and a couple of other things. In lower tiers, you know, you normally don't really have to pay too much attention to what the enemy team is composed of, because everybody's just kind of learning how to play this at this tier anyway. Okay, so speed. We are very, very slow for a Japanese cruiser. And yep, does it. 20.9 knots. We're basically at battleship speed in this thing. So this is the main drawback. The torpedo spreads are nice and thin. So 7.5 kilometer range. You can see it on the minimap. My torpedo range is larger than my actually surface detection. The problem is, where am I going to go? Because with 20 knots, if I'm going to get out too far on the side of the map, I have no way of getting back before the battle actually ends. So I'm kind of heading into the middle, using the islands as cover here, and we'll see if I can see some enemy ships at some point. Stealth firing at bots is difficult because they tend to dodge. So it's usually easier to just get up close and blab them in the face, but you don't have the DPS with the torpedoes, unless it's a destroyer or light cruiser or something. She steers okay, a little bit sluggish. Okay, there's a Tenryu and there's other things in. Okay, we're just gonna use the guns for now because we do have the precise aiming mod on it, so they are actually really nice and precise. Okay, bots and dangerous people on the other side. So let's target the Duguay.
Duguay 3.
is evading us. So let's get the torpedoes out this way. As a St. Louis on the other side. We're in the middle of it, as is custom in tier 3. So torpedoes out against the St. Louis. Torpedo reload booster, which seems to have reloaded the other one. Well, that's helpful. Okay, that's 2 hit on the St. Louis, and we gotta turn around to get her again. Other tube out. Turn the gun turrets around. That should be the end of the St. Louis. There we go. And then we'll see what else we can put some fire against. Okay, so the other player is going wide over that way.
Du guet one.
Let's see if we can do something about him or her. A little bit. That's too far out of range for my taste. So especially that all the 3 battleships are over at C Cup. So let's head slowly but surely over to C Cup. Let's see if we can still get something to shoot at. Okay. That Tenryu. We might even be able to citadel that thing with our 140 mils, but don't really want to try that. The chance of setting a fire is much more valuable. Okay. Yeah. Slowly we're trundling across the map towards the other side. So I generally like speed in my cruisers a lot better, a lot more than what we get here. Let's heal up again and use the precise aiming and see if we can set a fire on this. Okay, let me see. Ishizuchi.
Ishizuchi.
Okay. There's another battleship over there. I'm just trying to get a fire going. We're actually in torp range. So let's get torp out. And use the reload booster and get another torp out. I'm dangerously close to that Kawechi there.
Kawachi.
So we may want to reconsider that. Okay, that's 2 hits on the bot. We're lucky the other one hits as well. Where's the Kawechi going? Is he okay, that's it. Is he turning in? No, do not want. Okay, let's just put some speculative torpedoes his way. Turn around so that we can fire the other tube, because that should have reloaded by now. Yes, it has. Fire that ahead and see. Well, tier 3 bots are not that good at dodging torpedoes. Ow. Oi, you. Okay. We're going to need to deal with that guy. This one's perma-flooding. So let's see if we can get that guy here killed. I'll drop the speed off. Maybe we can get him to overshoot. Okay, that's a perma-fire. Woo! Nope. And he's shooting armor piercing. And that one's setting me on fire. Okay. That one's dead. And that one we should be able to get as well. Until we're burned down. Okay, torps up. We got that one too. Okay, can we survive this fire? Can we put it out before we run out of health? Fire damage is percentage. So it's percentage of your health. It's not static. So if you have less health, you take less fire damage. Obviously, in relation, it's the same thing. But okay, we've destroyed 4 ships, 50,000 damage, and the battle's almost over. So I think we've won this. Even though the other player is doing a good effort here at sinking our ships, I actually don't want to get anywhere near this guy. I'm just kind of slowly sailing. Let's just kind of troll him. Can he see us from here? No, cannot see us from here. Can we get another hit in? Ah, so close. Hello. Anyway, yeah, I did not want to get close to that because he could have sunk me in one shot. Anyway, so this is not a terrible ship. I mean, the speed is an obviously massive drawback. Okay, we've had heaps of bots, but trust me, at tier 3, players are not necessarily that much better than bots. So this is something that you can do in this ship, in the Katori.
Katori.
Being bottom tier in tier 3, and you know, using your torpedoes and torpedo reload boosters. The big drawback, obviously, on this ship is the speed. Right, so she's very, very slow, even with all the speed mods, which means that, well, if you play yourself into a corner, you have no way of getting back into battle. You also have no way of outrunning destroyers. So if any of them decides to chase you down, then you got to stand your ground and fight and dodge torpedoes, because you just don't have the speed. Or if you get too close to battleships, they can make short work of you as well. But in the right hands, this is not an absolutely terrible small little premium ship. I'm quite enjoying her. And for a tier 3, she's really, really not terrible. I mean, she's no Yubari.
夕張、
The Yubari at tier 4 is absolutely overpowered. But this is not a terrible ship. So if you happen to find her in a crate, or decide you want to buy her just to have a tier 3 premium, and you want to go some seal clubbing, this is an okay ship. Just a little bit slow, but other than that, not bad. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks everybody. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.